Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Why Are We Like This, a Heartstopper podcast.
I'm Ashley, she, her.
And I'm Alyssa, she, they. And today we are here to talk about episode 3, Kiss. I'm so excited. Kiss was, once again, written by Alice Oseman and directed by Eros Lynn. Eros?
I think you said it right.
I think I did. Fucking Wales, man. I love Wales. I can't say anything that's Welsh. And according to Netflix, this is the episode where sparks fly at a birthday party where Nick's friend Tara confides in him. Inspired, Nick shares his feelings with Charlie, and they grow even closer. Or, as my friend Kiara called it the other day, the Nick Nelson is really going through it episode.
Yes. Oh my
Where
God.
is the
He
lie?
is. Oh.
He is. Aren't we all, though? Kit Connor takes us on a journey this episode.
Truly.
He really does.
All right. So we open right where we left off.
Yes.
Crying our fucking eyes out.
Exactly.
Nick is Googling.
My Own Person is playing.
Yeah, another perfect song.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be just like such an overload of information.
Yes.
Because he's getting all of it at once.
Yeah, like the good, the bad, the ugly, the everything. I had a lot of emotions during this. I mean, I do every single time. But obviously, like this time, like actually pausing and like reading through the websites and taking notes on things. There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad that we start off with something funny. It's bookended by two funny things, which was very nice of the show because this is rough. So we start with an article, which I looked up all of these websites and none of them appear to be real, which for some I'm very sad and for some I'm very happy that they are not real. But we are reading an article called 5 Signs You Might Be Gay. And I'm very sad because we only get 3 of the 5 signs.
Yeah. Though I feel like they go down. Like they really started out with the best one.
Yes, they did. They did. And I think that I take issue with some of. I'm like, I feel kind of meh about some of it. But sign number 1 is that you really love superhero movies. But
Accurate.
Not quite for the same reasons as your friends. Bold of this article to assume that my friends aren't also horny bisexuals.
Right.
They love a good hero. You love a toned bicep. Why not both? Internet. Why not both? Fake website. Strong men everywhere are kind of a great bonus, actually.
So are strong women, though.
Yes, that's true. I know. I'm watching this and I was like, oh, you mean that my hyperfixation with Black Widow wasn't just about like strong, empowered female characters?
Yeah, or like Buffy.
Yeah, that too. But for me, like my personal timeline, the Avengers came first in my personal like journey.
Gotcha. Yeah, I found Buffy when I was 9, so it's definitely the first for me.
I didn't watch Buffy until my freshman year of college.
Yeah, very different timelines.
Yes. But I like watched all the Avengers movies since 2009 with Iron Man, so 2008.
Yeah.
Bad nerd. Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah, I think I know some gays. A couple of gays that like superheroes.
Yeah. Also, can we just briefly, I love that the picture is like the like Superman pulling his shirt open. And I'm like, there is something homoerotic about Superman, about Clark Kent pulling his shirt open by the chest to reveal the Superman logo. Isn't there? There's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. The second sign that you might be gay is that you've been having some pretty sexy dreams. Who doesn't have them every now and then? But you might have noticed that the main characters in yours aren't exactly who you're expecting.
That was relatable for me. Because I remember, like, in early high school, like, having dreams and being like, that probably doesn't mean anything, right? That's just like, you can't control your dreams. Like,
yeah.
Nothing. I shouldn't look into that too much.
Yeah, everyone has dreams about people of the same gender. That's normal. Everyone's a little bit gay. It's fine. Reader, it was not fine. Well, no, reader, it was fine. But not everyone's a little bit gay.
The last one's the one. It says, number 3, every time you see a straight couple, you wonder what the big deal is.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because we're both bi.
Maybe.
Maybe this is a monosexual thing.
Perhaps.
But I also feel like it's telling, because Nick is bi, that is when he, like, goes to a different site. He, like, checks off. Mm-hmm. And he's like, can't relate. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then he goes to another website. This one has a big rainbow banner and is lgbt-lover.co.uk. Also fake. And it has an article about a homophobia motivated altercation between concert goers and sports fans.
Yeah.
Which I have feelings about.
Some implications there.
But, you know, this is kind of where we see Nick starting to look at some of the, like, more negative, like, associations with queerness. If, you know, we get this, like, homophobia motivated altercation.
Yeah, and there's, like, ads on the side for, like, counseling.
Yeah. And then we don't see the headline of the next article, but there's a photo of these two hands in handcuffs, and the hands are painted with the pride flag.
Mm-hmm.
And we can, you know, put 2 and 2 together and assume that it's about places where, like, homosexuality is illegal and things like that. And then we get an article about the legalization of gay marriage in England and Wales. And, like, the first subheading, which is also the first place that Nick goes, is the section about opposition to marriage equality.
A lot of negatives he's running into here. A
lot of negatives. And it's not really clear if it's in this article or in a different one, but there's a question. It's like an ad embedded in an article. Yeah. Have you questioned your sexuality recently? And there's a yes and a no button. And there's just a part of me that's like, Nick, no, it's an ad. No, don't click it. But yeah, that's he's true. Like, but he's hovering between the yes and the no, like, not sure how to answer.
I know. And I'm like, little buddy, if you don't know, it's yes, my guy. Like,
yeah.
But it's such a scary moment. I can only imagine, like, being his age, only just realizing that he might maybe feel this way, and then being hit with the reality of the fucking world we live in.
Yeah. It's intense. And then we get the worst article of the bunch.
Yeah.
This is an article on gay2straight.co.uk all about conversion therapy. And I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. So much that I wrote out the entire text of the article so that we could discuss it at length if you would like.
Sure, because I definitely did not stop and read it.
We need to, I feel like it's important to unpack, even though it's a fake website. I'm sure that it's inspired by real ones. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm almost wondering if this is what happens when you click on that ad that Nick was hovering over, which makes it worse. So it says here at gay2straight.co.uk, we know how hard it can be to live as a gay man or woman. Conversion therapy, which every time they say the words conversion therapy, it's always capital C, capital T, which I don't know why, but I hate it. But anyway, conversion therapy from our certified partners has helped hundreds of people find better lives and happiness. False.
Yeah.
Categorically false. And then the next, like, subheading is conversion therapy for me? As a man, are you experiencing romantic feelings towards men? As a woman, do you find yourself attracted to women in an intimate way? Which there's something about the phrasing there that I don't like. Like men having romantic feelings towards men and women having intimate feelings towards women. It's
a weird distinction.
It's yucky and I hate it. I mean, this whole thing is yucky and I hate it, but that especially. So it goes on, conversion therapy can help you process and understand these feelings and find out the underlying causes. Romantic desires can be caused by lots of factors, including trauma and loneliness. And I want to punch someone.
Yeah.
Our certified therapists are available to help you through these difficult times.
Certified in what?
Certified in what? I know. And that's the other thing, too, in this article, that every single time that they talk about, it's always capital C, capital T, conversion therapy. And it's always certified therapists. And I'm like, these are 2 red flags. And of course, Nick is 16 and probably hasn't been taught proper media literacy. I mean, I actually don't know how schools in the UK handle that stuff, but I know that schools in the US could be doing a lot more in terms of media literacy. And I feel like Nick wouldn't be able to pick out those red flags, especially in such an emotional state like he is in this episode. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of things. And again, obviously this is written for the purposes of the show, but like this is totally something that you would come across if you're like a scared teenager looking for answers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. If you're still not sure, take a look at all the existing research from scientific studies for more information.
A lot of buzzwords.
A lot of buzzwords, exactly. Which like you just know that they're using all of this it's like search engine optimization entirely. We know it might be scary, but conversion therapy can work for you. I also hate that it's like implying that someone would choose this for themselves, when I feel like a lot of times what really happens is that you are a queer child and you either come out to your parents or are outed, and your parents force you to do this. I mean, I'm sure that there are some adults who are like grappling with, you know, like religious pressure and internalized homophobia that do seek this out, but I feel like that's only one side of the story.
Right. And
then we got to the last section, which is, what is conversion therapy like? And I want to hurt things. Preferably my wall. I want to just punch through my wall. Don't be afraid. Conversion therapy is just like any other therapy. You will work privately with a trained professional and modifying your behavior with a series of exercises and introspective sessions to help your mental state.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I actually, I was like, as I was doing my notes, I was like, I hate this so much. And it's supposed to be not good. I know it's an intentional choice and I'm supposed to be angry. And it's fucking working because it is. And I, like, even though it's made up, I'm just angry that Nick is sitting there reading this stuff. And I'm like, no, Nick, you don't deserve this. You deserve a hug and some hot chocolate.
If Sarah Nelson only knew.
Yeah. Oh my God. If Sarah Nelson knew that her son was looking at this, she would find this website. She would find their like brick and mortar headquarters and she would fight a bitch. Like,
yes. But also the entire conversion therapy discussion makes me think of the fanfic that I read that was, but I'm a cheerleader, except it was with the Heartstopper characters.
Oh my God. Fun fact, I've never seen, but I'm a cheerleader.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's because I'm a little baby.
I mean, I hadn't seen it either until like several years ago I watched it, but it wasn't like, I was too young when it came out.
Yeah, same.
But it is so good and iconic.
I know. I need to watch it. I just haven't had occasion to yet.
Yeah.
So then Nick thankfully clicks off of that website and he goes to what looks like some kind of like government resource or something on discrimination in the workplace. which we don't really get to see too much of.
Yeah.
Because then we go to the iconic ultimate gay quiz.
The ultimate gay quiz.
And it says at the top, the like tagline or whatever is, answer these questions truthfully to find out if you're the gay friend.
I love it. I missed that, but I did write down the questions.
Yes, I did too. But they're great questions.
Yeah. So the first one is, do you ever find yourself crushing on actors that are the same gender as you? The second one is, are you a bit possessive of at least one friend of the same sex?
And can we just briefly talk about the answer options? Because there's yes, maybe, and don't know. There is not a no option. It's like the website and the quiz are just like, if you're here, you're at least a little bit gay. So
no one's getting 100% straight.
Yeah. But for that one, we see Nick is kind of like between maybe and don't know. And I'm like, bud, if you're not sure which one of those two it is, the answer is either yes or maybe.
Yeah.
And we know that the answer is yes. And then the last question is, have you ever wondered what it would be like to kiss a member of the same sex? And Nick looks like he's going to cry.
Yeah, the tears start to well up.
And then my tears start to well up.
And then we find out that he's 62% homosexual. And I did write down the little tagline beside that. It says, you're definitely at least a little bit gay, ...
I love it so much.
Yeah, I use the 62% homosexual thing all the time now.
Yes. My husband walked in while I was watching this scene, and I was like, look, he's 62% homosexual. He has not seen Heartstopper, will not watch Heartstopper. It's not his cup of tea. Fine, whatever. I'm trying. But he was just like, cool? I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's hilarious.
62%!
It's so specific.
And accurate because he's bi.
Yeah. With a preference for men. So it's slightly leaning more towards.
Yeah. But this is when we see his little eyes again, and he blinks, and the tears fall.
And he shuts his laptop.
Yeah, and like we all cry.
Yes, and it's just like, you can tell that it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much information.
Yeah, he slams the laptop like, I can't. Information overload.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, looking at it saying 62% homosexual, like, just it saying the word homosexual, I'm sure has to be, like, a really challenging moment mentally as you're, like, starting to process all of these different feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it cuts to presumably the next day at school. And I love the way that this is framed, this shot where he's dead center and there's people on either side, but there's just this like noticeable gap between him and everyone else. And like Kit Connor is just like, he's so deep in thought and very like, you can read his his mental like dialogue all over his face. And the camera is just slowly zooming out, like adding to that feeling of loneliness and isolation and feeling small. And it just is so well done. And it just gets you into Nick's mindset so well. Yeah. And then Harry shows up.
Oh my gosh. This scene gets me.
It does. It's so much.
He says, how's it going? And Nick says, fine, normal. Which just goes to prove, once again, that anytime anything gay is going on, Nick Nelson's going to be like, it's normal.
Yeah.
Everything's
just like
normal.
Normal. Oh, my God. And Harry says that his 16th birthday is coming up this Saturday. And that Harry will be there. Or well, yeah, obviously Harry will be there. That Nick will be there. He does not ask, do you want to come to my party? He says, you will come to my party. And I have a question. Is 16 a thing for, like, people in the UK? Like, is it an important cultural milestone year like it is in the US? I feel like I never hear about 16 or like sweet 16s or anything like that in the UK.
Yeah, I don't know.
Georgie? Or is it just yeah, I know. I'm wondering, I was like, is it just a coincidence that he's turning 16 and that also he's just like a rich prick who would have a big party, regardless if it was 15, 16, 17, you know? Because like also even in the US, like I feel like a lot of guys don't do sweet 16s. I feel like that's primarily like a femme thing to do. But in any case, Harry tells Nick that he'll be there and tells Nick to bring some cool people with you. And then Imogen, sweet Imogen.
She's listening, waiting for that.
She's like, that's my cue.
Yeah. And I love that she comes over and like scoots right up next to him, shoulder to shoulder, and he moves like just a little bit to make room for her. And she's like, oh, and just like scoots in and fills the space again. Like, he's making more room for me. Perfect.
Yeah, it's so cute. And she asks if Nick is going to invite her. At which point I was like, Imogen, aren't you one of Harry's friends? Did he not invite you? I was like, are you just flirting or were you actually not invited to the party?
I think she was just flirting.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think she would have been there regardless, but.
Yeah. I love Nick's little attempt to try and flirt back. Where he's like, I don't know, are you cool enough?
Yeah.
It does not come off as naturally as when he's flirting with Charlie.
No.
But it's still cute.
I don't know that I think he was flirting back with her so much as like he's just a generally playful like person.
Yeah, so I don't think that I don't think that it's that he's actually flirting with her. I think he's trying to appear flirty back. Like he's acting flirtatious because that's what he thinks he's supposed to do in this situation.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
Yeah. And like, because you can tell that it's more forced.
Yeah.
Than some of the things that happen with Charlie in previous episodes, in this episode, in the future. But then when Nick says that he can invite her, Imogen gets all happy and there's like little purple hearts that like come up out of her head. And then we get the title card, which kind of like plays on that theme with the white and the purple and the little hearts, which is adorable.
Yeah, super cute.
Yes.
And then we cut to the locker room where Nick is changing shirts and Harry is sitting right beside him, talking like he's not there.
Yeah, talking to either Cy or Otis or Chris. I still can't tell which of the rugby boys is which of the rugby boys, but Harry's talking to one of the rugby boys. Like, literally, like, Nick isn't even there. It's
so
it's
weird.
It's the most 16-year-old boy thing I've ever seen in my life.
I asked my partner because he played football all through high school, and I was like, okay, so, like, is this normal? And he was like, not really. Like, we would have just been saying it to him. Like, he was like, I don't think that this is normal.
But I feel like it's something Harry would totally do.
Yeah.
And at some point, one of the rugby boys says that Nick is going to have his pick of 2 girls. And then we also later on see someone say he has 2 proper fit girls trying to get with him, and he's not even bothered, which is like the most fucking like chavvy British sentence I could ever say.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is they're saying all of this stuff, but what indication do any of them have that Tara is interested?
Yeah.
Aside from one kiss, which in this scene we learned was 3 years ago.
Right. When they were 13.
Yeah.
They don't have anything. That's what they have.
That's what they have is one kiss 3 years ago, which obviously means that Nick and Tara are destined to be together.
I just want to know why Harry's so interested in Nick's love life.
That's a great question. Harry Green, what's going on here?
What's up, bud? But this whole time, Charlie's dying inside.
Yes. And, like, every time that Nick looks over at Charlie, like, he's, like, we see him get upset.
Yeah.
Like, Nick is so upset that this like, he feels personally guilty that this conversation is happening. And it's like, buddy, it's not your fault. Harry's a dick.
Mm-hmm. And Charlie knows that.
Yes. But I think given the stuff that Tao said in the last episode, like there's definitely this like seed of doubt, and the fact that not only is he hearing more about Nick and Tara, but also this stuff with Imogen, which to this point Charlie didn't know about at all.
Right.
It's got to be difficult.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in when you're crushing.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, when Nick finally gives in and says, yeah, maybe, and then he looks over at Charlie, and Charlie just like immediately looks down at his shoes like, nope, can't handle that right now. And Nick looks like he's going to cry.
Yes, it's so sad. I just want to hold them both.
I know.
Like in like a protective like mama bear stance in front of Harry and just be like, back off. Yeah. My children.
I will fight you.
I will fight them. I don't care that Harry is a child. Okay, I do care. I wouldn't fight a child. But like you
sure would want to though.
I would want to. Like in the same way that like if like when my younger siblings were in high school, like if I heard that someone was talking shit to them or like about them, it would be like the same thing where it's like I am aware that I'm an adult and I can't do anything. But
right.
Yeah, it's just like a,
Yeah, for sure.
So then we cut to form in the morning. Their form class, and Charlie sits down and he's just so in love. And
he's so just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And Nick is looking worried.
Yes. And he just like blurts it out. He's like, do you want to come to Harry's party?
But there's like a pause. He's like, he thinks about saying it, then he stops himself. And then he goes to say it again, and then he takes a breath. And then he says, do you want to come to Harry's party? And then there's another breath, and he says, with me. And I scream, this is a date. He is asking you on a date. And he's so nervous about it.
I know. And like Charlie has this look, which is so relatable of like, what? Social party? What?
Especially a Harry Green party.
Yeah. But then Nick puts on his adorable golden retriever eyes and says that he wants Charlie to be there. And how can you say
Charlie
no
caves.
to that?
Instantly caves.
And so he does. And then like he looks away and he just gets this cute little smile that's like the epitome of, did a cute boy just ask me out?
Yeah. And Nick is also staring at him with that smile. And he is like, you can tell he's like drinking in all of Charlie in that moment. Like,
yes.
He said, yes, he's going to go on the date with me.
It's so cute. It's so cute. And he's so excited that then he gets home that evening and he's in the group chat in all caps. Nick invited me to Harry's party. I'm screaming. And then key smash that I totally didn't pause and then type out letter for letter.
Lies. I don't believe you.
AJDNSJSBSISBFC, in case you were wondering. The comic panel editing is really well done here. Yeah. I think it's used so well for these like group chat scenes. I love Elle's room.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Perfect. And I love that she's like, OMG, you're going to a popular people party.
Yeah. Tao is big mad.
Tao is big mad. And he's like, wait, isn't that tomorrow? Because they were supposed to have a film night tomorrow.
Which, like, they have film nights all the time.
All the time. It's like I almost said one of Harry's. It's like one of Charlie's most used emojis.
Yeah. And
Charlie feels so bad. Like, you can see it in his face. And he says, like, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. I told Nick I would go with him. And obviously, Tao isn't there. And Tao can't see how bad Charlie feels. But he is really just making it worse in this moment. He's like, you said you'd hang out with us. And Charlie's like, can't we just do that another time? And at this point, I'm like, you guys have film nights like every other weekend. It's fucking fine, Tao. Tao says, it's our film night. It's sacred. Isaac and Elle, back me up on this.
Isaac is like, no.
Isaac is... He looks at his phone puts it back down, and then goes back to reading Quantum Mechanics, the Theoretical Minimum, which is in fact a sequel to the Theoretical Minimum, What You Need to Know to Start Doing Physics.
Okay, all right, Isaac.
I had to look that up. I should remind me to put the link where I get all of this from, all of the books that Isaac reads. Remind me to send that to you guys so that we can put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Because I look it up in the same article every time, and that's where I get all of my information. So we should share the wealth with the world.
Rad.
But yeah, so Isaac wants nothing to do with it, which, like, good job, Isaac. I'm very pleased at Isaac's, declaration of neutrality in this moment.
Yeah.
By going back to his fucking quantum mechanics book.
In his amazing sweater. I want that sweater. I want it so bad. The sweater game on this show goes so hard.
But, Charlie says that he's so sorry. He'll make it up to Tao. And Elle comes to the rescue. And she says, it's okay. It can just be us three tomorrow, and we'll do something us four soon.
Little peacemaker.
I love her. She's really like the voice of reason in this episode.
A lot of the times, I feel like.
Yeah,
but I feel like Tara also, but like within the core, like original little group here.
Again, this is another episode where I have a really hard time empathizing with Tao. For some of it. I feel like there's other times where I'm able to empathize with him a bit more, which we'll get to. But like in this moment, I just I get that he's acting this way because he doesn't want things to change and that it's his own insecurity. But at the same time, he's acting in a way that could very possibly cause him to lose all of his friends because he's trying to like pit Elle and Isaac against Charlie. He's like making Charlie feel bad. And like, especially when you pair it with the group chat without Charlie from Crush, it's a lot. And obviously Tao is 15 and he doesn't realize that he very well could lose all of his friends, but it's just so hard to watch.
Yeah.
Especially having been a Charlie in a friend group with a Tao, like in high school, it hurts because I hate to break it to you, it did not end well in my particular situation. But I'm really glad that Charlie decides to stick to the plan and says, I told Nick I'd go, and that he doesn't agree to cancel. He doesn't change his plan. I'm really proud of him for that. Because it can be really difficult to do that, especially when you've got someone who's got this really big presence and really big personality who's been your friend forever in the way that Tao has. And obviously I'm really grateful to Elle for being the peacemaker and, kind of diffusing the tension. And his little smile when he reads Elle's message is so sweet.
I know.
He's just like, yeah, thank you, Elle. It's so sweet.
Elle was like in it from the beginning, though. She was like, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Elle ships it. We all ship it. But Elle is the captain of this ship.
Maybe co-captain with Isaac.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I can't wait to talk about Isaac in a little bit.
So we cut to Julio dropping Charlie off.
Which, 2 notes at the beginning of this scene here. I briefly thought that Charlie was driving and was very confused until I saw the steering wheel and remembered that this is England and that they drive on the other side of the road. But I was like, I'm not even joking. I was like, wait, what? Is that because it was like fucking 7:30 in the morning? Maybe. Is it because I was slightly hungover because it was the day after Thanksgiving? Maybe. But I saw that and I was like, what? And then I realized. Also, pretty sure that the balloon budget for this party was more than my entire wedding.
Right? There's so many.
And they're all in these, like, elaborate balloon sculptures.
Which is expensive.
Exactly.
Just a simple arch is expensive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, like, my wedding was not cheap. My wedding was many digits. And I'm pretty sure that his family spent more on balloons than I spent on my entire wedding.
I just love him being like, all right, I'll pick you up at 10. And Charlie's like, can it be 11? He's like, no, 10's late enough. Like, yeah, stick to your ground.
Julio Spring is amazing in this scene.
Yes.
I love everything that happens with Charlie and Julio in this car. Like, I swear to God, the actor, Joseph Balderrama, he has like 3 lines, but he gets the concerned, supportive dad energy perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, in those 3 lines, we know everything we need to know about Charlie and Julio's relationship.
Yeah. And I just love that he knows that there's a good chance that this might not end well. And is like, you just call me.
Yeah. It's like he just makes it clear that he's there for Charlie without being too intrusive about it. Like, he sticks to his ground on the curfew, which, whether that's just because he doesn't want to wait up, whether it's because that's curfew and he doesn't want to change it, like, whatever the reason, whether it's because he's worried, like, he sticks to that boundary. And then he just says, call me if you need anything. And we know exactly what's going on. Charlie knows exactly what's going on, but they don't need to say anything else. And it's great.
And I feel like that's a unique, like, parent-kid relationship for TV. It's usually either they don't give a shit at all, they have no idea what's going on in their kid's life, and they're dropping them off, whatever. Or it's, like, overbearing, and they know too much, and they'd be begging them, like, not to go, or, like, checking in on them every 5 minutes. Yeah. So the fact that Julio can, like, walk that line of supportive and gentle, but also, like, strict and and set in his boundaries, like, it's just a very good on-screen relationship.
Like, this show has something for everyone. It's like, are you a queer kid? Here's something for you. Are you a parent of a queer kid? Here's how to act. Also, here's how not to act. Looking at you, Jane Spring. But then we see Charlie outside, and he looks so scared.
Relatable.
Yeah, I literally wrote, oh my God, Charlie, the fact that you didn't immediately turn around and get back in the car.
Yeah, I was like, I can't imagine having a party like this or going to a party like this. There's more kids at this party than there were in my entire grade. Like,
yeah, I'm like, it's crazy. In the comics, they say that, like, there's, like, 200 people at this party, which, again, more people than were at my freaking wedding. Yeah. Like, more people than I know.
It feels like more in the show, though, when you put the downstairs and the upstairs together.
Yeah, definitely feels like more in the show. Also, the song Telephone by Waterparks is playing in this scene, which for a while I genuinely thought was an Owl City song. Like, I thought that was Owl City. I was listening to it one day.
I could hear.
And I was like, is this Owl City? And I had to look it up. It's not.
I could see where you were going, though. Like, yeah, I can hear it.
And then again, we get inside, and this party is massive. I made a note here. Is there a My Super Sweet 16 joke about this party in the comics? I feel like there is one. If there's not, I'm making one here. And then I added, second watch note, there's a My Super Sweet 16 joke later in this episode.
Yeah, it is in the comic as well.
Yeah. It's massive.
Yeah,
I mean, number one, they rented out an entire hotel on, like a Saturday night? That's expensive.
And, like, why would you rent out the whole thing for kids? I don't understand why you needed the entire hotel.
Just to flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, they rented out the entire hotel. There's, the lights, and there's glow sticks, and there's...
I'm sure a live DJ, though. Do we ever see...
We see a setup.
Okay.
So, like... You can kind of see the setup behind Tara and Darcy when they're dancing. But yeah, like, there's a DJ. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So then we have, like, a couple of, like, these shots of, Nick with Harry and Imogen and stuff, and dancing very badly. It's a lot of, like, awkward white boy dancing. which I love. Charlie is like trying to find Nick. The fact that Charlie hasn't like pulled out his phone and texted Nick, I'm here.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that's like introvert 101. You wait outside and you text the person that you have decided is going to be, that you are going to be the shadow of. I'm here, and you wait for them to come and get you. Charlie, what are you doing?
All of my why are you not just messaging him notes are from later when Nick's trying to find him. I'm like, just DM him. Like, I don't understand.
I'm just like, where the fuck is your phone? You guys are constantly texting. Where's your phone?
But I love that he walks past a mirror and he has to stop and like check his hair and make sure. Yeah.
Because we know Nick loves his hair.
Yeah.
I mean, also he has curly hair, and that's just kind of, you have to check it at every opportunity, because if you don't, it's a disaster. Imogen finds Nick and hugs him, and Harry conveniently disappears.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And Imogen's like, do you like my dress?
And Nick says, oh, yeah. And then turns around and is gone, like completely ignores her. She just walks away.
He has no idea what to do.
And I'm like, oh, my sweet baby girl, he is not interested. But the difference in me and Imogen is that she stuck around so that she could shoot her shot straight forward later. Whereas that interaction right there, I would have left crying already.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have some thoughts about Imogen shooting her shot later. I think that there might be some liquid courage involved in that scene.
Yeah, I have some questions about that as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that you do too. And so then we have these like shots of Nick and Charlie looking for each other on the dance floor. And like the way that they look at each other when they finally make eye contact, I'm like, stop.
They just like, both of them, full cheek to eyes smile happens. Oh my God. And both of their breath hitches. Like you can tell that both of them are like struggling to breathe.
Yeah. And they like run at each other to the point where like they have to physically stop themselves from hugging each other. Yeah. And they both say, I've been looking for you at the same time.
Full homo.
Full homo.
There will be no homo here because we're full homo at this point.
It's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute.
And you know that they've both like been stressing about this all day. They both like stressed about their outfit and how they looked. And then they got there and then they were like, where's the other one? Like, are they here? Am I here alone? I'm freaking out. And then finally they've hit this point. And it's
like just like the way that the like tension washes off of their bodies when they finally find each other.
And the musical cue.
Yes. But also because I was reading the comics earlier today and I was reading like this part of the comics, the fucking outfits, the costuming is spot on to what they're wearing. It's incredible. I was like, damn.
I know.
Go costuming. A lot of
the times I wonder, like, how long did they hunt for that specific thing? Or did they just get something and then paint it? Like, how did they do? Because I know that that's probably, like, the bags that they have that are, like, exactly the same. I'm sure they're painted.
Yeah.
And their fucking little giggles after they say it is so cute.
It's the cutest thing. Oh my God. I love it so much. They're adorable in this whole scene. They're adorable.
They're adorable, period.
Yes. Speaking of adorable, we go to Tao's house and Elle gets there and Tao's mom is so excited to see Elle. It's adorable.
Yeah. You can just tell that, like, she's known Elle for a long time and has been worried knowing that she switched schools. And so, like, having her be there and hearing her say everything's great was just, like, something that she needed to hear.
Yeah. And I love how angsty and jealous Tao is that his mom is giving Elle all of this attention. And I'm like, are you jealous that your mom is giving Elle attention and you can't? Or are you jealous that your mom is giving Elle attention and not you?
I think he's jealous because his mom is giving her attention, which is stealing Elle's attention away from Tao.
Oh, I like that reading of it. I think that works.
He's like, you two stop talking. I want Elle to talk to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to my room.
Yeah. Tao's suggestions for movie night are Ladybird, Moonlight, and Arrival.
3 movies I have not seen.
I've seen Ladybird, and it's really good. It's not really like snuggly movie night fare.
I got that vibe from the list.
Yeah, I mean, no, of the 3, like if those were the 3 options, I would tell them to watch Ladybird. It's got Saoirse Ronan, it's got Beanie Feldstein. It's a fun movie, but it's also got some like really heavy emotional like mother-daughter relationship stuff. It's a good movie. I recommend it. But like with the asterisk of like there is a lot of like intense mother-daughter relationship stuff that I know a lot of people struggled with. So like for anyone, that's a thing in the movie. But Saoirse Ronan kills it. It's directed by Greta Gerwig. Timothée Chalamet is in it, which I mean, obviously, if Saoirse Ronan is in something, Timothée Chalamet is in it. It's a cute movie. I liked it. Moonlight, I haven't seen. Mostly because I know that it's really sad and I don't think I can emotionally handle it. And the only thing I know about Arrival is that Amy Adams is in it.
Okay.
And it's like a really intense, like Oscar baity sci-fi movie by the same guy who directed the Dune movie with Timothée Chalamet.
Interesting.
Zendaya. So, yeah. Elle wants to watch something funny.
And sounds like not possible.
Yeah.
It can't be like, a film night if it's a comedy.
Which, just wow. And then Tao says he wanted it to be like old times. And Elle says, well, it's not old times anymore. Which...
That is one of my favorite line readings of the entire show.
Yes, it's so
Yaz's good. Delivery of, it's not old times anymore.
Yaz does so much in this episode. Like, and I feel like because... this is the episode where Nick and Charlie kiss, a lot of the stuff with Elle does not get talked about as much as it should. But
and Tara and Darcy.
Yeah. But yeah, Elle has an amazing episode. This is such a big episode for Elle. It's a huge episode for Tara and Darcy. But we're going to get to all of that in a little bit because right now, Tao and Elle's phones both go off. And they have a text from Isaac in the group chat. Sorry, gang. I'm super sick and can't make it tonight. Enjoy your evening. And the biggest fucking shit-eating grin emoji I've ever seen. And we all know that you are not sick, Isaac Henderson. We all know what is going on here. We know exactly what you're doing. The only people who don't know exactly what you're doing are Tao and Elle.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Not subtle.
Not subtle at all. Super sick my ass. You're fine, Isaac. Just don't want to be a third wheel.
And also probably at least a fraction of it is like, he's not going to shut up about Charlie and Nick the entire time. So I'm going to stay here and read my book instead of going over there to read my book.
Yeah, I have to finish reading about quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
So that I can then read some other shit for the next episode so that I can be in the middle of another series. I love Isaac. Back at the party, Nick and Charlie are talking about Mario Kart.
Yeah. And Nick has dragged his mom to play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Which I want that deleted scene, please. Give me Olivia Colman playing Mario Kart.
You know what I want? No, forget the deleted scene. I want the behind the scenes footage of Kit and Joe trying to explain to Olivia Colman how to play Mario Kart. That is what I want. Give it to us, Netflix.
You cowards.
Harry shows up to tell Nick that Tara is here, has arrived at the party.
Harry comes over with his entire fucking posse because he can't go anywhere without a group of people.
Like, literally cannot go anywhere without the entire rugby team.
It's gross.
Yeah, I hate it. And Harry, like, tells Charlie about the whole situation with Nick and Tara.
As if he wasn't right there in the fucking locker room and heard it all earlier.
And asks Charlie if Nick should go for it. He's like, don't you think he should go for it?
I do love his delivery of proper romantic.
Yes, it's great. It's great. The actor, I forget the actor's name. I didn't write it down, but he does a really good job.
Yeah.
Of being like, just like fucking lad.
Yeah.
Derogatory.
Yes. Insult intended.
Yes. And then Harry, like, literally drags Nick over to talk to Tara. And Charlie follows.
Yeah, it's really sad. But also, the whole time that Harry walks Nick over to Tara, his hands are all over Nick's body, is all I have to say. I just think he's using this as an excuse to get a little closer.
It's just like, have we discussed the homoerotic subtext of the way that Harry Green talks about Nick Nelson?
Yeah, it's like he's too obsessed with it, and he does. He's very touchy-feely.
Interesting. I actually hadn't noted that.
Yeah, he, like, puts his arm around him, but then his other hand is also, like, touching on his chest, and, like...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot. He also says that Tara is super hot, and just, like, the delivery and the tone, I don't like it. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
skeevy,
it's gross.
Like, I mean, Tara looks amazing.
So good.
I love her makeup. I love her hair. I love her. Yes. But it's the way he says it and the context and
the intent behind it too.
Yes. It's yucky.
Also, Nick has a drink in his hand when he stands up, and then it's just gone because his hands are in his pockets.
Continuity error. Script supervisor was not paying attention. I actually didn't catch that, so good job.
Thanks.
When they get over to Tara also looks super uncomfortable with the situation and does not want anything to do with it.
Yeah, her face when she realizes that it's Harry that's come over to talk to her immediately falls and looks disgusted. She's like, ugh, like, I can't believe I have to talk to him right now. I know it's his party, but like, ew. I know. I didn't come here for this.
No. I came here for the dancing.
Yeah.
And then Charlie, like, sees... Because Harry leaves, like, almost immediately. And Charlie sees Nick and Tara talking, and he just is sad, and he walks away.
Which I would have done, too. I would have left as well. Stand there and watch it.
No, I don't blame him. I'm just also sad.
Yeah, for sure. And then we cut back to Tao's house, where he is still overreacting about this.
Yes, this is another moment where I have a really hard time empathizing with Tao. Because he says that Charlie's changing and that Nick's stolen him.
Ugh.
Don't like it. He also says that Charlie should be here with his actual friends.
And then, thank God for Elle again. Yeah. Is like, well, I think Nick is his friend.
Yeah, and she also, like, the whole, with the, like, Nick stolen him thing, she's like, that's really dramatic.
Yeah.
And Tao tries to accuse Elle of being on Charlie's side, as if there is a Charlie's side versus, like, and it's very telling that Tao feels like this is a, you know, us versus them situation.
Yeah.
When it's not. But that also speaks a lot to the way that, you know, insecure teenagers view things. Like, you're gonna feel like, well, you can't be friends with this person and also me. It's like our friendship is mutually exclusive of all other friendships.
I would say even some adults are like that.
Oh,
and from my personal experience, I am very social. I have a lot of friends. And, like, the amount of times I've had people come to me and be like, well, you're just like, they've replaced me in your life. And I'm like, no, I have room for everyone. I can have more than one close friend. I don't understand where this, like, possessiveness comes from in people's friendships.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it. And Elle, again, is like, there aren't any sides. Elle has just, like, such a great position. I feel like Elle being good friends with both Tao and Charlie, and also, like, being kind of outside the situation at Higgs, gives her just, like, the perfect perspective. Because unlike Isaac, she's not getting it 24/7 from Tao.
Right.
Like, she's not constantly hearing it in the same way that I have to imagine Isaac is from what we saw in Crush. And she also, not for nothing, has the information that Tara is gay and is not ever gonna want to be with Nick.
Yeah, she's not a factor.
Yeah. So, like, she just has a really good position within the friend group to be able to kind of call Tao on his bullshit. And I also think that it speaks to her friendship with Tao that she's able to kind of call him on it in a way that I don't necessarily know that Isaac would feel comfortable doing.
Yeah. I think they would have butted heads a bit more. Like, I think that Tao wouldn't have taken it quite as well coming from Isaac, whereas coming from Elle, it's like kind of like a slap in the face, like what he needed to hear a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it still takes him some time to get there, but this is a turning point for him for sure.
I also feel like Isaac is just a little bit less, like, likely to stand his ground. So, like, if he tried to stand up to it at the first sign of Tao pushing against it, he would kind of, like, back off and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, or like, I see what you're saying.
Or he would just pick the book up again and be like, okay, and then just start reading again.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the party. And Nick and Tara are talking, and this is so friggin' awkward on both ends. They're so awkward.
Neither of them want to be here. They, like, off the bat acknowledge that they do not feel that way about each other.
And Nick is, like, holding his breath and doesn't even know it, I think. And when she says, like, I'm not interested in you that way either, he, like, exhales so hard. He's like, oh, thank God. Like,
It's so funny because, like, to everyone else, they would assume that the opposite is happening. And, oh my God. And then Tara says what was almost my favorite line of the episode. All this could have been avoided if I just told everyone I was a lesbian.
And our sweet little Nicholas. Says, well, that's not really something you'd want to lie about. Like, oh, sweet baby.
Nick, read the room. Like, but the moment that Tara says it wouldn't be a lie, like, something clicks in Nick's brain, and it's like the sky has cleared. Like, there is finally sunshine after an amount of time of rain. And it just becomes, like, this, in that moment, this scene just becomes, like, everything to me. Just, like, the way that he's like, wait, what? Like, there's someone else.
And they're happy.
And also in the background, because when Tara says, that's my girlfriend over there, Darcy's trying to catch, I don't know what, marshmallows, popcorn, who the fuck knows?
Something.
She's trying to catch something in her mouth. It's hilarious. And I'm like, that is the perfect introduction for Nick to Darcy. Perfect.
Yeah.
And Nick asks why Tara's telling him. And she says that she and Darcy have been talking about it and that they don't feel the need to keep it quiet anymore. And that they don't want to make a big coming out announcement, but they don't feel like they have to hide it.
And he thinks that's so cool.
He does think that that's so cool. And it is so cool.
It is.
And, like, it's just as important for Nick to hear that as it is for all of the queer kids watching the show in this moment to hear that. Like, I wish that I had heard that from, like, when I was, like, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And also, I love that as soon as it becomes, like, possibly relevant, Nick brings up Charlie, and Tara's gaydar just goes off.
Oh boy, does she know immediately. She's like, yeah, I know him. Like, do you know him? He's like, yeah, we sit together and form. And then her face is just like, gay.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And then Darcy comes up to ask Tara to dance. It's just, I love it.
Yeah.
I have a note here, and I don't remember the particular context, but it just says in all caps, Kit Connor's face acting, an Emmy for Kit, please, which presumably is something to do with...
Probably how he lovingly stares at them running away to the dance floor.
Yes, probably. And then Nick turns around, and Charlie is gone. And then I don't want to talk about the rest of... I do want to talk about the rest of this, but I don't want to talk about Harry. But we have to talk about Harry. So Harry asks where Nick is going. And Nick says he's going to find Charlie. And then I want to punch Harry in the face.
Yep. And all the other boys that are just laughing hysterically.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hate it so much.
This is very, like, on brand with my high school experience of teenage boys.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, why do you even hang out with him? He's just a nerdy little year 10. And he's like, wait, do you think he has a crush on you? How sad. To which I say, do you have a crush on him, Harry?
Oh my God.
I'm not going to let it go.
Nicholas Nelson, my fucking hero, says, that's homophobic, Harry. And I really don't like you. Happy birthday. And just the way that he punctuates it with happy birthday is perfect. And I love it. And I am so proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
And I think in the comic he says happy fucking birthday.
He does say happy fucking birthday.
Which is just like,
yeah.
Just a little bit more of a kick.
Oh my God. This show does not do fucks. So...
And my note says, I wish he had stuck with this attitude. I know it's hard and it's scary, but fuck do I hate this prick.
Don't we all?
So we cut back to Tao's house.
I really want to know what they ended up watching.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I'm pretty sure, because in the comics, in the previous episode, in the comics, they're watching Back to the Future.
During the hand scene?
During Crush, yeah. They're watching, in the comics, they're watching Back to the Future. So I'm wondering if they were watching Back to the Future. But, like, I'd have to go back and, like, really focus in on the audio coming from the TV. And that's really difficult for me. I still think that they were watching Star Wars, like, in my heart of hearts. Anyway, I couldn't even guess what Elle and Tao are watching.
I know the audio was really low. I tried to listen and then I was like, this isn't going to happen.
No. Probably some like Wes Anderson or something. I feel like that would be Tao's like middle ground of, okay, you want to watch something funny? We're going to do like pretentious funny, like Wes Anderson kind of stuff. And like, I love Wes Anderson. But like, it's probably something along those lines.
Yeah.
Like Moonrise Kingdom or something.
But so Tao apologizes for making it weird.
Mm-hmm.
And Elle says he didn't, but I think he did.
Yeah. I'm like, no, Elle, no, let him apologize. He is correct.
Let him own it.
In this instance. Yeah.
But, you know, it's like about time he starts processing these feelings.
Yes.
And this is where I have my note about Yaz and her acting choices.
Yes.
Because the emotional journey that Elle goes on just in this scene where she's talking to Tao about how she's changed schools and it was really scary and she didn't want to put herself out there. And when she's saying all these things, she doesn't look at him. She kind of like comes into herself and like hunkers in a little bit, looks down. But then when she gets to the part where she starts talking about how she finally did open up and she feels like she's going to be okay now, she looks up at him. I think she even like reaches over and maybe touches him or like reaches over at the computer or something and gets like physically closer to him and is like, that's a good change, right? Like, and so just like the journey, the physical journey that she goes on during telling that story is like chef's kiss.
Yeah. I feel like, cause you know, before she kind of has this like monologue, Tao is talking about how he misses how things used to be. And Elle points out that change is good sometimes. And like, I feel like, and I have to imagine, especially with the way that Yaz acts this scene, there is a part of Elle that feels guilty in this moment for transferring to Higgs and being a part of that change and possibly even feeling like a catalyst for that change because she's the one who did something that made it different, made it not, right? Like there has to be some guilt in there, even though in her heart of hearts, and like she knows and Tao knows and everyone knows it was absolutely the right thing for her to leave Truum. Like there is just this part of her that in this moment feels guilty. And she kind of goes through this journey of talking about, you know, all of these things that are going on and how she felt like she was so scared that no one would like her and all of these different things. And then through this, she gets to like, that's a good change, right? And like, she's searching for that reassurance that Tao doesn't blame her because, I mean, it's not her fault at all, but I definitely have to imagine that she feels that way.
Yeah. That's a really good perspective to come at it from.
Yeah. And I just want to hug her. I know. I just want to hug her. Oh my God. And then they hold hands. And super I cute. Don't understand how they don't know that they are in love.
Yeah. Everyone's clueless on this. Everyone's clueless and not subtle.
Except for Isaac. Isaac knows everything.
True. The next scene.
I love the next scene. It's just, obviously it's awful, but I love it. Because Charlie's in the hallway and he runs into Ben.
Which, I rewound it a bunch of times to look. I think Ben bumps him on purpose.
Oh, definitely.
Because Charlie's looking down, but Ben is looking straight forward. So, like, rather than just saying, hey, I'm sorry, whatever, he has to be physical about it first.
And he's a fucking asshole in the scene, too, because he says, like, he tries to apologize, and then he says, have you finished sulking about it?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ben.
Yeah. Not great.
Charlie tells Ben to leave him alone, and Ben tries to grab him. Charlie pushes him off, pushes him into the wall, and says, do not touch me, in just, like, this big voice. And he walks away. And I'm just so proud of him.
How far he's come.
Give him a hug and tell him everything's going to be okay. And that he did a good job.
Yeah.
Because he did.
Yeah. It's telling to see, like, how much confidence in that situation he's gotten just in these few episodes of kind of understanding how bad it really was and how good it could be and getting that, like, self-worth check.
Yes. Also, I have to imagine that the rugby has been really helpful.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, like, also just, like, in the ability for him to, like, have that instinct to shove him against the wall.
Yeah, true.
Like, I feel like the rugby's done him some good there.
That's true.
Yeah, so even though I hate that scene, I love it because I'm just so proud of the way that Charlie handles it. So
then we got to Nick, who is looking for Charlie so hard.
And again, I'm like, Nicholas, where's your phone?
Why are you not texting him? I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And the bisexual lighting has arrived.
Yes, the bisexual lighting has arrived. Gotta love the bisexual lighting.
But he's like looking upstairs. He is walking around looking at all the little corners.
Gazing down over the dance floor.
Oh, buddy. Just send him a message.
Just fucking text him. Call him even.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Also, I was like, yeah, don't call him. But like, also, like, even if you tried, I don't think that either of you would be able to hear a thing.
No, anything.
Yeah, but he's like literally looking high and low for Charlie.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't want to find or talk to or interact with anyone else. Just Charlie.
Mm-hmm. And then we cut back to Tao and Elle. There's a lot of cuts here.
It's a lot of like the back and forth between these two situations. And Elle says that she misses Tao and Charlie and Isaac and kind of like acknowledges like that Tao is not wrong to, like, feel the way that he's feeling. He's just going about it the wrong way.
And also just, like, a reminder that he's not the only one that's dealing with change.
Yeah.
They are all dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. And I love that Tao tells her about the apple juice from the first episode.
I said the flirting is so strong here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They don't even know it.
They don't.
And then Tao ruins it.
Yes.
Again.
By asking. He's like, he asks Elle to promise that they'll always prioritize their friendship no matter what. Which Elle says is a bit dramatic because it is. And then Tao says, like, no matter what changes, we will always put our friendship first. And to Tao, here is what putting his friendship with Elle first looks like. We'll still go bowling and watch creepy documentaries. And we'll always stay up to watch the Oscars, which in, like, UK time, the Oscars don't even start until 1 a.m.
Fuck.
Yeah, so that,
is that red carpet or no? That's like the actual starting.
That's the actual show. Like, I think the red carpet's usually like, I think the red carpet usually starts at like 6 or 7 my time, Eastern time, which would be like 11 or 12 UK time. But then, because it like airs during prime time, so it's like usually from like 8 to 10 o'clock Eastern time.
But I guess to a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm
and
like,
then
oh, hell no.
Yeah, no, same. And then he also says, and we'll always be able to talk about deep stuff like this, which I do, like, appreciate the fact that they are able to have this conversation, which I don't think that they would have been able to have if Charlie and Isaac were, like, you know, any combination of, you know, the group were there, because they do, like, they have just like a different connection, which I have some questions about. No, like, just like timeline wise, because Tao mentions that Isaac and Elle weren't there when Charlie was going through the worst of the bullying in year 10, but then Tao and Elle seem to have this really, really close bond. And so I'm just wondering, like, how all the puzzle pieces fit together. I'm like, were Tao and Elle friends? And also Tao and Charlie were friends. Like, some of them.
But then at the milkshake bar, when they ask, she says that she was friends with Charlie and Tao came along as a package deal.
I just have so many questions. Although I'm also wondering if, like, maybe Tao saying that, like, Isaac and Elle weren't there is like
maybe they weren't clued in.
Maybe Charlie was only talking about it with Tao. I don't know, maybe they just, I mean, because Elle's a year older, so, like, maybe they just, like, didn't have classes together and so didn't really see what was going on. There is just kind of, like, a little bit of questioning sometimes where I'm like, but how does this, I need to get my red string out and put it all together.
My gut is to say that, like, Elle heard about Charlie being bullied. And then it took her a while to, like, get close to him, and by the time she did, it was already kind of dying down a little bit, but then they've bonded really closely since then, maybe.
Yeah.
That's just how knowing Elle and how she operates, I feel like if she heard about Charlie, she would have sought him out and, you know, been there.
There's also a part of me that's like, maybe Tao just, like, because he's a little bit, like, in his own world.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't know that Charlie was also reaching out to Elle and Isaac for support.
True, yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of different, like, ways that it could be interpreted. I just, like, when I was watching it, I was like, huh. What?
And also, and also, like, this scene, to me, is the reason why Elle is so hesitant later to clue Tao in on any of her feelings.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like she keeps coming back to this talk.
Yeah.
And that's where all of her hesitation comes from.
Yeah. It's like prioritizing our friendship means not addressing my feelings.
And also he's terrified of change. And if I change something again, how is he going to react?
Yeah.
This is a big scene.
It is. Speaking of big scenes.
Oh my God. Clearest Blue is a blastin'.
Clearest Blue is playing. Nick is still looking for Charlie. Imogen shows up. Imogen is questionably drunk.
Yeah. Oh man, I had this discussion, I think with Jared on Twitter too. Like,
oh my God.
There's they give us no indication that they're drinking.
Oh no, none at all.
Except
but Imogen
for this.
is definitely hammered.
Yeah.
And like
so confident. And he is just not interested.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, he has no idea what's happening. He's like, I don't know how to react to this. I don't know what to do. I just want to find Charlie.
Yeah. And he, like, when she says, I really like you, Nick, and he's like, what? Wait, what? And which, it continues to be a theme with him, because later on when she asks him out, he's like, I didn't see it coming. And I'm like, you didn't after she cornered you on the dance floor and told you that she likes you? You didn't see this coming at all?
To be fair, a lot happens after this that he might have forgotten it happened.
That's true. Very true.
And, I feel really bad for Imogen in this scene too, because she's like, you don't have to reply right now. I just wanted you to know. And I'm like, oh, my sweet girl.
It's like, the squeal after he walks away from me.
Yes.
I'm like, no, yes. That didn't go well. Why are you celebrating?
Because she's drunk.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I love how she kind of like acts like it didn't happen after this too.
Yeah.
Does
she remember?
Yeah, I was going to say, again, evidence for her being drunk. But yeah, no, it's weird because we don't really see anyone else drinking, although it's a party. It's like a high school party, and we don't see any adults. So I feel like you could just assume that there's alcohol on premise. So who knows? But she's, at the very least, Imogen's drunk.
Yeah, yes. But Nick has to go look for his friend.
His friend.
His
100% platonic BFF, Charlie Spring.
Besties.
Yes. And as he's like crossing the dance floor trying to find Charlie, he sees Tara and Darcy dancing. And they look so happy.
And then he looks so happy.
Yes.
Which, like, this is the first time that he's really, like, able to take in two people at least openly queer to him. He knows for a fact. And they're happy, and they're dancing, and they're acting just like any other straight couple would act at this party.
Yeah. And then they kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Which then it's like, there's no question about it we later learn that there apparently is still some question, but we'll talk about that next episode. But, like, he sees them kiss, just the way that he looks at them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, also, when I was talking to my friend Kiara about this episode, when she first watched it, she told me that it's like, this was everything that 15-year-old me needed. And I mean, I think it's a moment that a 15-year-old, all of us needed. Yeah. It's just like, because the way that Nick feels in that moment is like the way that like queer kids feel the first time that they see a queer relationship, like on screen or in person. And it's just so big. And like the fact that like the way that the show gives space to it, where it's like the rainbow flag fades in behind Tara and Darcy, and they're dancing, and there's so much love and joy. It's perfect.
I need to go back and find it, but there was an interview that I read or watched with some of the crew, and I want to say it was Eros that was saying it, but don't quote me on that. But they were talking about how they already had this song picked out, so that rather than it being like them dancing to nothing on set, they had this song playing and like for the beat and everything. That's so good. That everybody could like authentically be celebrating. And I thought that it kind of shows, like, I feel like there are some moments when he's like just running through the crowd where they're offbeat and stuff, but like this specific moment, this little slice of it is perfect.
Yeah, and like the way that Corey and Kizzy are moving.
Yeah.
Is
and even
it's
the people
very
around
clear.
them.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love it. Yeah, no, there's definitely some other scenes where I'm like, they hadn't picked out the music. Like Nick and Harry dancing, like when we first see them at the party, that they were just kind of like, and you're at a party, go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you can really tell that they actually like have the music cues all figured out for this scene.
Also, I just want to point out that this is a huge moment for Tara and Darcy as well. And their faces after they kiss they're like, I can't believe we just did that. And also like, hell yeah, we just did that. And also, can we do it again? Like, this is the best. And it's just like such a milestone moment for them as well. And I feel like, like you said, this being like the Nick and Charlie kiss episode, a lot of this other stuff gets it doesn't get the light that I feel like it deserves.
Yeah. No, it's so huge for them. And like you can see, and I think too, the fact of like this being like a dancing scene and like the song and the energy behind it, it's like you can see how freeing it is for the two of them.
Yeah. They're like liberated.
Yeah. And it's great. It's such a big deal for the two of them. And I feel just like in general, like Tara and Darcy don't get the love that they deserve as a queer couple in the show. And they totally deserve it because I mean,
and Kizzy and Karina too, like they don't get enough love for their acting.
Oh my God. It's great.
But Nick's world is changed.
Oh, so much. Oh my God.
And he has such an urgency. I have to find Charlie right now.
Right now. Yes.
Right now.
Also, wait, I'm sorry. Just really quickly though, the fact that the song is called Clearest Blue and blue is such a Nick color.
Yeah.
Like
it's the Nick color.
It's the Nick color. And it's just, it's like I think that's also like really important to just kind of like note in this moment. But yes, no, Nick is like, I need to find Charlie right now.
I feel like if he doesn't find him right now, he's going to just like have a full-on breakdown.
Oh, yeah. Or just like explode. Like,
explode.
Right there on the spot. And so he finds Charlie sitting by himself.
On a different couch.
Yes, on a different couch.
Not the same couch.
So many couches in this hotel. Charlie says he left because he felt like he was in the way, which, like, I see you, Charlie. I feel you. I'm such Charlie. And he also says, your year 11 friends are kind of intimidating, which again, I see you. And also, I think they're especially intimidating here because it's like Harry and this entire posse. And it's just like this large mass of teenage boy.
Yeah. Also, like in a room full of other teenagers. So, like if anything happens, like all of the attention of everyone is going to be on them.
Yeah, it's really intimidating. And Nick confesses that he doesn't want to hang out with them anymore. Which it makes me like partially sad because I know, and like especially from the comics, that some of those guys are good friends. But Harry ruins it for everybody. But like also, if given the choice between the rugby team or Charlie, he's going to pick Charlie every time.
Every time, yes. This is when Alaska starts playing in the background, and that's when also my heart starts to speed up because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but before we get there, Charlie says that he ran into Ben.
Okay, wait. But first, when Nick says that he doesn't know if he wants to hang out with those people anymore because he'd rather hang out with Charlie anyway, Charlie panics. Abort mission. He looks down at his feet and then he changes the subject to, I just ran into Ben.
Yeah.
He said, I cannot process that statement at this point in time.
Oh my God. But he says that he ran into Ben and that he pushed him into a wall. And that he thinks that Ben got the message that time. And Nick is so proud. I mean, aren't we all? But, like, Kit is beaming. He's so proud.
Connor! The way that he goes, like, from terrified at hearing I just ran into Ben to immediately so proud.
Yes.
It's so good. And he grabs Charlie's hand. And he doesn't let go. Charlie's the one that lets go later.
Yeah.
That's like a big moment for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's in this party and he's holding this boy's hand and he doesn't let go. He's not thinking about it. And I think that kind of like sets up this kind of like slow burn coming out that he does where he's like not exactly coming out, but also not hiding it. And he's going to go on that journey. And this is like the start of it.
Yes, and it perfectly parallels to him at the rugby match at sports day and Boyfriends, where he, in front of everyone, grabs Charlie's hand. Yes. I love that. And he's like, let's go somewhere quieter. You know, that entirely heterosexual thing that you suggest to your entirely platonic BFF.
Yeah, correct.
And then Charlie suggests that they race.
No, I think Nick says, do you want to race?
Okay.
And Charlie says, oh, you want to race me? And that's when he drops his hand.
Yeah. And then Charlie fucking bolts.
Yeah, he's gone.
And I'm like, Nick, you know that Charlie's whole thing is that he's really fucking fast. It's why you asked him to join the rugby team.
That's why I asked him to race, too. This is a flirty move.
Oh, yeah, I know. My next note is just flirting in all caps.
Yeah. And I said, the bisexual lighting is so strong here.
Yeah.
And I also wrote down lyrics. The you and I, there's air in between is just like, such a good song choice.
Yeah, no, it's great. There's a lot of really good song choices in this episode.
In this show.
Well, yes. Also in this entire show.
Yeah.
Also, can we just going back, right? Because the song that's playing when Charlie arrives is Telephone. And guess what he doesn't do? Use his fucking telephone. Sorry, that just occurred to me.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like, maybe that was not the best song choice. But it's a bop, so we'll allow it.
It is a bop.
But anyway, what is it? I didn't write it down, and I'm really mad at myself for not writing it down. But Nick says something, and then Charlie says, that's because you're old.
He says, I'm dying. So, like, as they go up the stairs, he says, you're going too fast. And then they round another corner. He says, slow down. And then as they go up and it shows them running down the hallway to the ballroom they eventually end up in, Nick says, I'm dying. And Charlie says, it's because you're old.
Just some first class flirting from the two of them. And then they go to this like completely empty ballroom because Harry's parents rented out the entire hotel for some reason. And then we get the My Super Sweet 16 joke.
Yes.
Where Charlie says, he should have gone on My Super Sweet 16. And Nick says, so he could cry when his parents got him the wrong color Lamborghini. Which Harry would totally do.
That fucking tracks hard. And it probably, with Harry, it would have been like, I asked for a blue one and they got me a blue one, but 2 days later I said I wanted a red one. And they didn't change it, so I'm pissed off about it because I wanted a red one now.
Yeah.
The worst. So then they sit down to catch their breath. And again I say, Charlie Spring is so brave.
Yes.
Because Teen Ashley could never.
Oh, no. He looks so scared. Yeah. But he does it anyway.
Also, the music dies here when the questioning starts. And that's a tool that is, like, very effective for me, personally.
Yes. It's just like,
always works. Whenever there's a silent scene, I'm like, I'm into it. Every time.
Yes. So then he asks about Tara.
And Nick is like, ew. Absolutely not. Like,
no.
Kit Connor's face of like really wanting to like drive home that no, I am not into her. You've got the wrong impression.
Again, Charlie could never. Teen Alyssa could never. Fucking adult Alyssa could never. Hell, I'm married and even still could never. Like,
right.
and it's just like, so you don't have a crush on anyone at the moment. And like, I mean, Nick is also supremely brave in this scene. And it's like, it's such a big scene for both of them.
Yeah.
And like, we know that. Like, they fucking titled the episode after this scene.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole thing is so big and they just build the tension so well through this whole conversation. So you don't have a crush on anyone at the moment. Nick says, well, I wouldn't say that. And the look on Charlie's face.
He's like, oh, shit.
And then he says, what's she like then?
Which is smooth.
It's smooth. It's a lot less subtle than thank you for being my supportive straight friend.
It is, yeah.
Or it's a lot more subtle, rather. It's much more subtle. It's probably the most subtle that Charlie Spring has ever or will ever be. And Nick, my sweet boy, says, you're just going to assume they're a she. And like, I don't know, because the timeline is a little bit fuzzy of like how long it's been since, you know, him Googling, but we can assume it's not been very long. Right. But we don't know how long Nick has been sitting with this and grappling with his possible queerness. But I'm so proud of the fact that he just fucking goes for it.
Yeah.
Because that's difficult and scary when you are secure in your identity. Like, let alone when you're still figuring shit out.
Yeah. This would not have happened without the Nick-Tara exchange.
Oh, no.
If that had not happened and he had not been fully empowered by watching them on the dance floor, we wouldn't have gotten here in this episode.
No. Again, Tara and Darcy do not get enough credit for how important they are in this show.
But it's easy to ride that high.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you act immediately after being empowered. Versus like the longer away from like that moment, the insecurity can kind of like creep back in, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just like a really good show of like the chain of events for this night were just kismet.
Yes.
This was meant to happen.
Yes. Kit does a great job of like pretty much with his face and his body language communicating that like, yes, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
And also, yes, I'm doing this. And also, holy shit, it's real.
Did I just say that out loud?
Did I just say this? And like, just like the more it goes, it's just, he does such a great job. And Joe as well. Just like the way, like with every single thing that Nick says, the way that we see Charlie like have more hope and more hope. It's, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're both amazing.
My note says, Joe fucking Locke, y'all. The hope that's like in his eyes when he says, are they not a girl? Is like, that's mind blowing. And then it flips over to Kit, who is like full on panicking without saying anything. And then you're like, well, shit, that's awesome. Like this whole scene like deserves all of the awards.
Oh yeah. It's all amazing. And then Charlie kind of like sees that Nick doesn't really know how to answer. So he says, would you go out with someone who wasn't a girl? And Nick says, I don't know. Maybe.
And then there's a sneaker squeak.
The sneaker squeak. It's just, oh my God, it's so cute. And it just you move. He moves ever so slightly closer. Would you kiss someone who wasn't a girl? I don't know. And then they move a little bit closer. Charlie puts his hand down next to Nick's hand and like budges his pinky. So
he just like barely grazes Nick's pinky.
Yes, it's so pure. And Nick moves his pinky closer so that his pinky is on top of Charlie's. And then Charlie says, would you kiss me? And then I start openly sobbing.
Mm-hmm. And the little fireworks sounds are back when their little pinkies touch.
Yes. And then Nick says, yeah. And they kiss. And it's so gentle.
It is so gentle and tender. It's the perfect first kiss.
Yes. And Nick looks so scared, but in a good way.
Yeah. Yes.
And they pull away, but their pinkies stay locked together.
And they both look straightforward.
And, like, they just do such a good job of communicating, like, the different ways in which they're processing what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut back in from the wide, and Nick grabs Charlie, like, fully grabs Charlie's hand, and they kiss again, and it's, like, a more intense kiss. I can't stop crying.
When Nick looks up and looks at Charlie again before he, full on grabs his hand, there's a rainbow glare, like, on his
I missed
forehead.
that one.
And it's, like, with the, like, scared but hopeful face with the rainbow glare, and I scream, gay achievement unlocked.
First gay kiss. I love it.
And yeah, so then he grabs his hand and they go in, and that second kiss is like everything pours out of them, like all of the months of pining, their little daydreams, all the little moments that they've had, like it's full on, they're in it. And so for me, I just want to also point out that when Nick, like when they have their first kiss, my heart's at like a 4.5. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost stopped. Uh-huh. But when Nick processes it and then reaches down and grabs Charlie's hand, code blue.
Yeah.
She's out.
Yeah. We go from like 4.5 to 10 out of 5. Like it like
dead.
Half a second flat. It's oh my God.
Ugh.
And then Charlie asks Nick if he's okay.
Which is adorable that he is like, and also telling of how this relationship is going to develop, because Charlie is constantly checking in and making sure that Nick is comfortable, that he's not doing anything he doesn't want to do, he's not telling anybody anything he doesn't want to tell them, and it's and Nick is just like, he goes to say something. Yeah. I wish that we could have. I want to know what he was going to say.
Yeah. And then my note says, and then Harry has to fucking go and ruin everything.
My note says, and then Charlie looks absolutely destroyed. My heart fucking breaks. Just leave me dead at this point, DNR.
I hate this conversation with Harry and Nick so much. It's a really well done technically. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Because, like, the way that, like, they're in this other empty ballroom, which, like, again, has, like, the power implications because it's Harry's party and because he's rented out this entire place, that there is this entirely empty space. And, like, Harry's standing on the one side with the entire rugby team, like, standing behind him. And the, like, it's this, like, blue, like, moody lighting, and the camera is spinning around the room, and it just adds so much to the tension and the discomfort, and that, you know, it's like, it's just banter. We all know it's just banter.
Another great line delivery by that actor, though, because it's so good.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh I hate it, but the actor does a good job.
Yeah, like I said, it's so well done. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Because, and Nick leaves through another bisexual hallway.
Says he's gonna go find the loo, and everyone thinks that's the funniest thing he's ever said. And I'm like, why are they laughing? This is not track.
And he goes through another bisexually lit hallway back to the other ballroom, and Charlie isn't there anymore.
Which, like, yeah, of course he's not there. Were you really expecting him to still be sitting there?
I feel like there was just like a little bit of hope.
Maybe, but
you know.
He knows. The way that he looks around the empty room, he knows he's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Then we get another Dad of the Year scene.
Yes. Charlie gets in the car and Julio immediately knows something's wrong. And Charlie just breaks.
Yeah, he just starts crying. And Julio just holds him and says, it's okay. Yeah. I've got you.
Doesn't ask. Doesn't pry. Just is there.
Top notch.
Dad of the year.
And also, I'm sobbing at this point.
I've been sobbing since before they even kissed. I've been sobbing since So You Don't Have a Crush on Anyone at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Charlie, like, wrapped up in a little burrito of sadness.
In green stripes instead of orange.
I missed that. And he's just crying, and he's all wrapped up, and I'm just like, oh, we've all been there.
And he's cuddling his little cat. Is it a cat?
I think so.
I think it's a cat.
This little stuffed animal. And then when he wakes up, he doesn't have any messages.
But it's raining outside.
But it's raining
outside. You can hear it.
Also, we see that it's March 21st. Just to kind of, like, help us with, like, the context of how long it's been since the beginning of the show. And then he kind of, like, wants to go back to sleep. Then we cut to him, like, brushing his teeth.
Yeah, he checks, but he has no new notifications. So we know that Nick has not reached out since the party, which is arguably, like, worse than him just leaving. Yes. Like, the scene of him leaving, because you know that Charlie did not sleep well last night. Mm-hmm. He's probably checked his notifications 100 times throughout the night, waiting, and has gotten nothing. And that just, like, puts his depression into, like, overload at this point.
Yeah. And so he's brushing his teeth, and he, like, flashes back to, like, asking, would you kiss me? But imagines Nick saying no. And my heart, again, breaks. It's in, like, a jillion pieces at this point, and we're only on episode 3.
And these little flashback scenes where he's seeing things that happened, but seeing them negatively, are so effective. They're so effective.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a knock at the door that brings him back to reality. And Charlie's mom asks him to get the door, that it's probably the postman.
I love that Tori didn't even, that she's not an option for answering the door, because we all know Tori's going to be like, no.
Yeah.
I will not be doing that.
Yeah. So Charlie goes downstairs, hair undone, still in his PJs. And it's not the postman.
It is not.
It is, in fact, Nicholas Nelson, soaking wet in the rain, wearing the blue hoodie that Charlie wore on their snow day.
Yeah. And he's panting because he just ran all the way here in the rain.
From his house in the rain. No umbrella, no raincoat.
And they say, hi.
Hi. And then the episode ends. And I literally wrote, why, Alice, why?
It's impossible to stop between these two.
Is it? No, literally, you just click next episode. You have to. One does not simply finish kiss
and start secret.
Not start secret. You have to. It's the law. And then by that point, you're like, well, there's only 4 episodes left. Might as well. And then you watch the whole fucking series over.
My notes for after they say hi to each other and it cuts to the credits, it says, we all are dead again, code fucking blue. You have murdered us twice.
Twice.
So that's obviously, I'm a 5 out of 5. I'm like a 15 out of 5 on the scale for this episode.
My note, I have, like, at the notes at the bottom, I have my favorite quote, and then I also have Heartstopper scale 10 out of 5.
Yeah. A lot of
I
stopping.
am deceased.
Yeah.
So I have my favorite quote. Do you have yours?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, so mine is, that's homophobic, Harry, and I really don't like you. Happy birthday. It's the happy birthday that does it for me.
Yeah.
Just like this fucking mic drop and walk away. It's great.
I had a hard time with picking one from this one. Mm-hmm. And that was on my list of ones to pick from. But I chose to cheat. And my favorite quote is the entire first kiss scene from "So You Don't Have a Crush on Anyone at the Moment" to Nick saying, I am leaving.
That is, in fact, cheating.
That entire dialogue is just done so well. I think Alice killed it.
It is excellent. Alice killed it. Kit killed it. Joe killed it. Everyone killed it.
Charlie, he's shooting his shot despite Tao's feedback. Tao's feedback be damned. This boy just held his hand in the middle of a party, and the way that he is looking at him, he just has to go for it, and I'm so glad he does.
Yes.
It's a lot. This episode is my favorite episode just because the emotional journey, the roller coaster that I go on every time. I've seen this episode at least 25 times. And I still catch myself holding my breath at certain parts, and it's just so good.
I can't. It's so good. And it's hard for me to watch because of how much emotion I feel all at once. And I'm I need to pause it just to let myself process what I am feeling because there's so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it's so good and it's so well done.
Yes. Kudos to everyone.
Well, I think that is everything we have for this episode. Of course, this is a bi-weekly podcast by two bisexuals, so we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about episode 4, Secret. Although I'm sure that you are immediately going to run and go watch it after we talk about this, because how can you not?
If you want to follow us online, we are at Why Are We Cast on all platforms.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.